Well, hi folks, this is Di North. I'm going to do a little video today. There's a couple of big clear cuts where they logged, and I'm out exploring. I'm checking them out. I haven't been down here for quite a while, and I wanted to see what they've done in here. It's two big 80-acre logging parcels. Um, I was going to do both of them today, but it looks like I'm only going to get one in today. I'll have to come back another day and do the other one. But so this is the intro to it. I'm already at the end of that first clear cut that I'm filming, and now we're going to watch the video, and I'll do a closing statement after the video's done. So thanks for coming along. Let's go check out that clear cut. Now this is the access to the first 80 acres that they logged. I'm not going to hike down in there yet. I'm going to go to the next 80, which is way up the road there. I'm going to go to that one first, and I'm going to hike down to the end of that one and check it out. And then I'll come back down here, and if I have time, I'll hike down to the bottom end of this one. So there we go. You guys hang on. We're going to head up the road here. Now this road here, as you can tell, it's very unimproved, but that's our road access down to Lake Superior, about a mile and a quarter, mile and a half maybe, and you come down to the shoreline of Lake Superior down there. So let's head on down that way. As you can see too, it's pretty hazy today. They're forecasting 50% chance of rain, and it's about 40, I'd say 40, 45 degrees out right now. Very nice temperature-wise. So let's head on down there. Well, folks, here we are. We're at the entrance to the second 80 acres they logged. I'm going to just pan through the entrance here so you can kind of get a gist of what it's like going in here. Again, there's the road heading down to the lake. The one thing I noticed that I'm okay with is they left about a 75 to 100 foot buffer of timber between the road and the clear cut. So when that greens in this spring and this summer, it'll be tough to actually see the clear cuts back in here unless you go down these logging roads. But as you can see, the condition of this road going in is terrible. I'm going to have a chore just hiking down in here. It's going to be so muddy. So I'll be tiptoeing around quite a bit to get down in there. Hopefully the conditions will be better once I'm down farther into the clear cut. And then I'll jump on the camera again. We'll take a look at what's going on down there. Well, folks, here I am. I'm maybe about a fifth of the way down into the cut. As you can see if I can zoom this in a little. Look at what was laying out here in the woods that they came across logging. Somebody left an abandoned trailer there. Found an old license plate, said 1967 on it, so I think it's been there a while. But this is what clear-cut logging looks like in Wisconsin. I understand the need for pulpwood, and I understand the industry, but still, in a way, it's quite the shame. You can see how large this cut really is. It makes for a beautiful long-range horizon view, but this clear cut is pretty rough looking right now. In a couple years this will be all grown in again, but it'll be all shrub brush, all scrub stuff. It'll be so thick you can't walk through it. But for the next year or two, you'll still be able to hike through this stuff. There used to be the direction the direction the camera's pointing right now, from about 100 feet behind me, straight down where the camera's shooting, used to be a beautiful trail. And that trail, I could jump on that trail and I could hike that trail. And it weaved around back and forth, and it worked out to about 2 miles of trail that would take you right down to the shoreline of Lake Superior. Beautiful trail. Now a big chunk of it's missing. I'll have to find out where the trailhead is on the other side of this clear cut. I'll do that some other day though. Now I'm going to head down that direction towards the bottom of the clear cut. Excuse me. And I'm going to take a look, see how things look down there. We've got a favorite beaver pond down that way, and I want to see if they logged all the way down to the beaver pond. So stick with me, and I'll jump on camera again soon. I wasn't going to jump back on the camera right away. I've only come about maybe 100 feet or so down the trail that I was walking on. As you can see, this is the logging road right here. Now that logging road is nothing but muck. The frost is coming out of the ground, and there's spots where you step in that and it comes right up over your ankles. So I'm staying out of that. I'm staying out in the clear cut itself and hiking. It's much drier, much easier to maneuver. But I turned the camera on because this is such a beautiful view. I'll try to zoom into that. You can see the snow-covered. I don't know if this is going to focus in or not. Doesn't look like it. That's a better picture, I guess. But you can see the snow-covered hills, the high country. That's about, 5 miles from here. I'd say it's about 5 miles up to the top of that hill up there. But it's beautiful country. One thing they did when they clear cut this was they left some pretty vistas to look at. So, okay, I'm going to move on and we'll head on down towards the pond. I'll talk to you in a bit. Okay, folks, I'm about maybe halfway down into the clear cut now. Maybe a little over half. I kind of came up from the logging road up over this little rise right here. And then you can see it's still pretty clear cut through here. A lot of slash on the ground. And from a distance I noticed something, and I had to run over here and I wanted to show you folks. This is a rarity, actually. Check that out. We'll zoom in and see if you can see it better. Yeah, not the best focus. But what we have there is a really large piece of chaga. That is unusual. Usually when they clear cut like this, they never leave the birch. They take all the birch. And it's very rare you find any chaga because everything gets pulverized so much in here. But here's a lone birch standing here. It's a live birch. It's got some dead wood in it, but it's mostly alive. And like I said, it's got a really big piece of chaga. Looking at that piece of chaga, it probably weighs about 3.5, 4 pounds. So it's a good one. So yeah, that's what you find when you're out here. The only problem, if you look at this, that you probably can't tell on the camera, but that's about 12 feet up. So I don't know if I'm going to try to harvest that with a long pole, or if I'm going to come back. I've got a pole that I use for harvesting chaga that's up in the trees farther. I think I'll come back to get that one if somebody else doesn't snatch it up before me. So we're going to move on. Just wanted to show you that nice piece of chaga. Well, folks, I'm pretty much so down towards the bottom end of this clear cut. As you can see, it's a huge area that's been logged out. It looks like it's about 80 acres worth to me. However, I was wondering, did they log all the way down to one of our favorite beaver ponds? And looking at this, okay, you can see where they quit right down in there. However, lo and behold, there's a road cut in. And you can kind of tell looking off to the left over here and then back at the road. It's dropping downhill. It's going down over a rise. I'm going to follow the road down because that takes me down to that beaver pond. I want to see what they did down there. So let's head on down to that beaver pond. Well, folks, there's the clear cut. I'm coming down this road, and like I said, off to the left here, well, it'd be my right, there's the beaver pond down over the hill. So they've cut this road right along the top ridge going down to that beaver pond. You can see the road continues there. I'm going to keep taking the road down and see what it looks like down in there once I get down in there. So here we go. Well, folks, here I am. This is pretty much the end of the road. I walked down to the tail end, and actually you keep going down this road, and it stops right about where the border is to some tribal trust land. But it doesn't look like they did much logging close to this road. There is some back in there, but they hauled it up through the other side. So why they extended this road all the way down here, I don't know. But look at where it is. I mean, it's right on the edge of this big, beautiful beaver pond. This is a very old, well-established beaver pond. It's been here many, many, many years. And I haven't found a beaver hut on this pond. What I found is we've got beavers that are living in the banks. So they've burrowed into the banks along the pond, and they did build a dam. The dam's right down here on this end, and right on the other side of that dam is part of a river that runs through here. It's just a tributary to that river. So I think they're feeding water off of about a half a dozen different areas to feed this pond. This is a pretty good sized pond. I used to think, well, you can't pick a better camping site than right along this pond, but you'll have to go way out there across and get on that point out there if you want to do some wilderness camping, because, as I said, they put this road in, and it runs right next to the pond. So, how enlightening. So with that, folks, I'll turn the camera around, and I'll set you down here. There you go. So, with that, that's the end of my journey today. I've said it before, I think. I'm not a big fan of clear cuts. They have their place, they have their purpose. It takes many years for all of that debris, all this slash, everything to break down and get back down into the soil. It's such a mess. It's good for certain wildlife, but it takes so long for it to recover. It's just a shame. It'll be 15, 20 years before it's woods again. So, thanks for coming along. Hey, check us out at wildernessThriving.com. And from Sty North and from Big Jim and Rory, you all have a nice day.